Galway looked irresistible against Tipperary at times. What do you think is going to be the biggest factor in trying to stop their forward line?
Yeah, they're very mobile, very skillful, and they're putting up big scores. You can see that in the last couple of games. How do you stop it? It's a good question. Just we need to be on top of our game all over the pitch. I think it's not necessarily the backs. Our forwards need to be putting pressure on their backs and making sure that they're not getting kind of good balls supply into their forwards. I think that's the first part. But it's easier said than done. But that's the challenge. That's the challenge for the team to kind of perform on the day, and it's always a challenge for an All-Ireland final. But hopefully the players will be in a good mindset to do that.
Now with Jackie injured, there's a bit of inexperience in the full back line. Joey Holden in his first full year, and of course Shane Prendergast made his debut the last day, and I know Paul Murphy is there, but do you think inexperience can play a factor with Galway's full forward line scoring so freely this year?
Not necessarily, no. I think the lads have acquitted themselves quite well, and I think when you play championship matches for Kilkenny, it gives you great confidence, and I think the lads have acquitted themselves very well over the last few championship games, so I think they should. They'll take a lot of confidence from those games, and it's about going into the final and giving it your best shot and making sure you perform, and I've no doubt they will.
In years gone by, Galway have often been labelled as a one-forward team, with Joe Canning being the main man, but this year obviously their scores are coming from all over the forward line. Cotton Mannion, Jason Flynn. Is it just a new Galway team, or are these players just finally stepping up to the plate?
Yeah, I think a few players are after coming on board, definitely. Jason Flynn, Cotton Mannion. They're after giving great options now to the Galway forward line, and if you like taking the burden off Joe, and they're putting up massive scores in the last couple of games and have been during the year in the championship. So there's not just one player you're trying to pinpoint. It's the whole the six forwards that they have, and they do have players on the bench as well to come on. And as we saw the last day against Tipperary, so yeah, they're certainly a threat.
Now, against Waterford and Galway this year so far, the games are quite tight until the last 15-20 minutes when you pulled away. Do you think it's a superior fitness level, or is it just more experience Kilkenny have over teams like that so far this year?
Hard to know. I think the players. I think they're kind of mentally very strong as well, and they go to the 17th minute. I think that's important. Obviously, fitness is not an issue for a lot of them. When you talk about the players, a very dedicated bunch, and they've got the most out of themselves in terms of fitness, and all very clued in. So yeah, their fitness levels are very good, and I suppose coming into the final it's about freshness now and making sure that they're able to go again for the 70 minutes in the All-Ireland, because I think that's what it's going to take.
In the semi-final, the forwards weren't firing on all cylinders in the first half. Was there maybe a bit of an over-reliance on TJ and Richie? And do the players need to step up the next day, like Ger Aylward and Colin Fennelly?
Yeah, I think they stepped up the last day, to be honest with you. I don't think it was, I think Waterford are a good team. And the way they set up, they do make it difficult for players. So, I think the work rate from Colin and Walter the last day was excellent. Sometimes the scores don't come off the end of it, but, you'd prefer to see a player at least trying and getting work in around the field, which is often unseen, but very important for the rest of the team.
And throughout the years, say the last decade or so, maybe a bit longer, Galway have sometimes been a bogey team for Kilkenny. I think 2005, 2001, 2012, even in the Leinster final. Is that just Galway's unpredictability, or are they just simply a bogey team for Kilkenny at times?
I think, over the years you could say they've been a bogey team, but the one thing about Galway is they always have good hurlers. They always have kind of skillful hurlers. They're able to score. They're able to, and if you're off a fraction, that they're kind of a team that can, I suppose, put you down fairly quick. I think over the years, particularly this year, there's a work rate about them, a bit more seal about them, resilience, if you like. Even if you look at the tip match, the 3 setbacks you could say with the goals, you could say against run of play, but they responded each time very well. So. There's no question that this team, there's a lot of respect there for them.